Good morning, my friends. So today it's early in the morning. It's a Saturday, and it's the second day of Ramadan here in Algeria. It's 2022, April the 2nd. April the 3rd, 2022. Ramadan the 2nd, and Ramadan is the ninth month of the Muslim calendar, the lunar calendar of Islam, and we are going to drive. This is a round trip where we are going to drive from La Grande Poste, or the central post office, to Hydra, an upscale neighborhood in the upper parts of Algiers, and then we are going to come back here. So this, on my left we have the Mohammed Khmisti garden. It's in the square. It's in the central post office's square. We have that garden on the right over there. It's the Jardin de l'Horloge Florale, or the Amr or Amran garden. Now this is the Pasteur Avenue, named after a French biologist and Dr. Louis Pasteur, who discovered the vaccine, the anti-rabies vaccine. This area is the heart of central Algiers, and it's packed with landmarks, important landmarks. For example, those buildings right in front of us over there are the Central Faculty, or the oldest university here in Algiers. Central Faculty, and this is the tunnel of the faculties. They used to teach medicine here. The Faculty of Medicine is used to be here, to be located here. Now it was transferred it has been transferred to Binakinoun, to where the Faculty of Law used to be. Okay, so this is the Maurice Audin Square, named after Maurice Audin, one of the few Pieds Noirs settlers, European settlers, who supported Algerian independence, because when France colonized Algeria in 1830, and the Pieds Noirs, or the French settlers, the European settlers, started settling here in Algeria. They owned lands, they dispossessed Algerians. Of course, the French colonial authorities did that. They dispossessed Algerians, and they redistributed Algerian lands, the lands of the indigenous populations, to the European settlers. And then when Algerians sought independence in 1954, when our independence war started, the settlers were rabidly opposed to our independence, because they didn't want to cease to be French. They didn't want to lose their privileges as settlers, and that's why they rabidly opposed Algeria's independence. And very few settlers supported our independence. Very few. Maurice Audin was one of them, and he was caught and tortured and killed by the French colonial authorities. And to honor him, independent Algeria named that square, or that junction in the city center, after him, in order to pay homage to people who supported Algeria's independence. And this is the Mohammed V Avenue, the avenue that we have just, or boulevard that we have just driven through, is the Mohammed V, named after the former Moroccan king Mohammed V, who also supported Algeria's independence. So as you can see, most of the streets and the parks here are named after significant political events and significant political personalities. We have just driven through a section of Karim Belkacem Street, or Karim Belkacem Boulevard. Karim Belkacem is one of the Mujahideens, or the fighters, or the veterans of the independence war. He was one of the negotiators of the Evian Accords that ended the war, the Algerian War of Independence. And now this is the Tifariti Park, one of the most beautiful parks here in central Algiers, in the upper parts of the city. Tifariti. We are on Chemin Sfinja, or the Sfinja Road, which links Grande Poste, the Grande Poste Boulevard here in Tilimli, to the Bougara Boulevard, Mohammed Bougara Boulevard, which is part of the Alger municipality. This is my second time filming this video. I filmed it last weekend, but the battery died. My phone died. That's why I'm refilming it again. I died before I finished it. And I thought to myself, and it was raining that day too. So I thought to myself that I'd better make it again. So the Sfinja Road is very winding, but it's very practical as well. It's a shortcut between the lower parts of Algiers and its higher parts. We have been taking shortcuts in order to go to Hydra. It's such a long street, Sfinja Road. And by the way, the park we have just seen, the Tifariti Park, is named after the de facto capital of Western Sahara. It's a neighboring country seeking to achieve total independence over all of its lands. And Algeria, of course, supports the independence of Western Sahara alongside many other countries, dozens of other countries. And Western Sahara is illegally occupied by Morocco. Has been illegally occupied by Morocco, and this is the second gate to that. Okay, I'm turning left, guys, turning left. We're still on the Sfinja Road. There is this little bakery here, totally. I mean, it's mainly a residential area, and we're approaching Bougara Street. All right. This road on the left will lead you back to Tilimli, I think, via the Sfinja Road, and there are other streets that link Bougara to Tilimli. Chemin Picard, that's what this road is known. Alright, so now if you take the right, you will go to Algiers. This is Bougara Street. We are going to drive onto Bougara Street in order to go to another street that will lead us to Hydra. There used to be a gas station here on the left, but the area here is unstable. The soil in the area here is unstable, and that's why it was closed down. All right, so now we are driving onto the Mu'izz Ibn Badi Street here, and it's a road that links the Bougara Boulevard to Poisson, to Bashir Ibrahimi in Algiers. And this area here, this neighborhood, is known as Poisson. It's the upscale part of Algiers. Just look at how green all this area is, and when you see it from a distance, you would realize how green Algiers is. At the end of the day, it's a big city, but it's green too. It's very green. It has many green gardens and parks and backyards. And just look at these wonderful trees, tall trees, including palm trees. I mean, some places here in Algiers look like tropical forests, I swear. And when you add the botanical garden, the Ilhamma Botanical Garden to it, then you know, Algeria becomes, or Algiers becomes a tropical city. Al-Mu'izz ibn Badis, this is the name of this street, and I think it's named after one of the princes of the Zirid dynasty. The Zirids were a Muslim, a Namazigh Muslim dynasty. or founded by Amazirs in the 10th century, in the 900s. And it ruled the central part of North Africa, present-day Algeria mainly, and parts of Tunisia. And the Zirids, during the Zirid dynasty, during the rule of the Zirid dynasty, that Bulurin ibn Ziri, Bulurin son of Ziri, transferred the capital of the Zirids from Algiers, the city of Algiers in Media, which is today known as Ain Boussif in Media, to Algiers. So it was Bulurin ibn Ziri, one of the Zirid princes, that made Algiers, this city of Algiers, a capital. It was in the 10th century, more than 10 centuries ago. And now there is a stop sign here, we've got to stop. And now we are driving onto the Bashir al-Ibrahimi Street. All right, let's turn left. And now we need to take the first turn. I mean, this turn on the right. And this is, I think, the Ali Bjawi Street. Ali Bjawi Street, which also is a shortcut between Alger, the municipality of Alger, and Hydra, Val d'Hydra, or the Hydra Valley. Ali Bjawi Street, yes. And now we are driving onto this street. عمروش محند والحاج. عمروش محند والحاج. It's a very complicated route, I know, but it's just look at the time. It's we've been driving for 12 minutes and we are almost in Hydra. It's one of the most practical routes in order to drive to Hydra and avoid traffic. Even on a weekday. Okay, so now Benaknoun is on the right. We are going to take the left turn. It's a little bit tricky here, isn't it? Just look at this. We're going to turn around this this roundabout. Benaknoun is on the right. If you drive straight on, you're going to arrive at the motorway. You're going to arrive to the motorway, to the Ziralda motorway, to the southern bypass motorway, Rocade Sud. That road straight ahead over there in the background will lead you back to the Bashir al-Ibrahimi Street. And now we have just entered the Val d'Hydra road. This is Val d'Hydra, or the Hydra Valley. And this road here is known as Chemin du Petit Hydra, or Little Hydra Road. they're reinforcing all these cliffs with concrete. If you take the left road, the road on the left, you are going to go to Burmoradreis. That road will lead you to the Muhamdi Avenue that will eventually lead you to Burmoradreis. There is a stop sign here. We've got to stop. The Hydra bridge is on the left. We're going to cross it on our trip back. Now, welcome to Hydra. We have just entered the road that will lead us to the central part of Hydra. There is a stop line here, therefore I've got to stop for a while, for a few seconds, and now I'm going to cross over to Hydra, to the central part of Hydra. And Hydra is, if you will, the diplomatic district of Algiers. Most of the embassies and consulates of foreign countries are located here in this part of Algiers. So if you want to apply for a visa, you will probably visit this neighborhood. This is the La Placette, or little square, Hydra's little square. And this is one of the main bus stops. The area is serviced by both private and public buses. There are also lots of cabs here carrying people to the city center. The bad thing about Algerian cabs, or Algiers cabs in particular, is that, you know, they only work, they only drive on specific routes. They most cab drivers wouldn't take you to where you want. This is a very bad thing about Algiers. Very few taxi drivers would drive you anywhere you want. And I don't know why. They've been doing this for decades now, since the 1990s, and it was ever since then that I no longer ride taxis. Now we are driving towards another square here in Hydra. This is the final bus stop of the public buses that transport people to Hydra. If you drive straight on, you will arrive in Sidi Yahya. You will arrive to the Sidi Yahya road, and Sidi Yahya is the main boulevard in this area, where the shopping boulevard, where you can find clothing stores, restaurants, pizza parlors, and ice cream parlors, and everything. It's like a second city center here in the upper parts of Algiers, but some of those stores are expensive, of course. And now I've just turned around, and we are driving towards. We're driving back to the central post office. when I worked here for a foreign company, I used to come here in order to buy some. Yeah, there was, there still is, I think, a donut shop here on the right. It's a traditional donut, Tunisian donuts. They sell traditional Tunisian donuts, and pizza, hot pizza. You know, it's their food is delicious. It's absolutely delicious. There is also a restaurant here known as Woodpecker. It's somewhere on the right. Now if you take the left, but you can't take the left from here, you need to turn around, take the right and then turn around in order to come back here. But the Benaknoun motorway is on the left. That's the road that will lead you to the Benaknoun motorway. Alright, so I think that I'm going to overtake this car. Never mind, traffic is slow anyways. Address is on the right, and we are going to drive straight on. We've just crossed the Hydra bridge, and this is the Swidani Boujamaa street. The neighborhood on my right is known as Al Moradia. Al Moradia. It's formerly known as Le Golf. It's still. I mean, but the locals still call it Golf, Le Golf. But it's officially known as Al Moradia. This is the name of the municipality. We're still on Swidani Boujamaa street. Now it's rush hour. Rush hour is rush hour even in Ramadan. In fact, because Muslims fast in Ramadan, this is the month of fasting where Muslims are required to stop eating and drinking from sunrise to sunset. From sunrise to sunset. Okay. Muslims take it easy, so you can, I mean, companies allow people to come half an hour after the beginning of the usual time of the beginning of work. And workers are also allowed to leave a little bit earlier than usual. But 8 o'clock is, it's almost 8:30, and all right, great. So, as you can see, even on a Ramadan day, at 8:30, the roads are busy, but they are less busy than usual, than the rest of the year. So now, because we are driving straight to the main post office, to the central post office, where La Grande Poste got to take this underpass. It's darker than usual because the lights on the right are off. And now we're driving onto Franklin Roosevelt Street. Oh yeah, I'm going to show you a shortcut in order to avoid driving down the full length of Didush Morad. Okay, so there is a stop line here. Got to stop. Now there is this roundabout, Tilly roundabout, and now we have re-entered Karim Belqasem Street. There are two museums here, the Museum of Ancient Arts and the Museum of Islamic Arts. They are on the right. There is this graduate art school here on the left. Fine arts school, l'École des Beaux-Arts. And there is a garden here, Parc de Galant or Parc de la Liberté, Liberty Park. And now we are entering the Ledge Al Hussein Street, which is in a neighborhood known as, or a part of Tilibli known as Sacré-Cœur. It lies between Tilibli and Didush Morad. Sacré-Cœur, the Sacred Heart, and it's named after a cathedral. I think that it's a Protestant church or something, known as La Cathédrale du Sacré-Cœur or Sacred Heart Cathedral. This street is narrow, but I still managed to find parking spots here. It's almost miraculous. And there is a hotel here known as Dar al-Ikram, something like that. Yeah, Dar al-Ikram, or the House of Generosity, or the House of Honoring the Guest. It's a new hotel, I think. Sacré-Cœur. There is a high school here on the right. Oh, and this is the cathedral. It's I can't show you all of it, but here it is with its distinctive architectural style. Modern, built I think in the 1940s or 1950s. There is the Al Khansa Primary School here on the left. Now we are driving straight onto Didush Morad Street, the main, one of the main streets here in Algiers, and it's a very commercial street with lots of stores, particularly clothing stores. All right, I've got to check oncoming traffic. I usually come here to buy magazines, foreign magazines, especially comic magazines for my kids. The cultural center of Western Sahara is here. And this is Didush Morad Street. In fact, it's the busiest part of Didush Morad Street because it begins where this street is longer than that. It begins where Roosevelt Street, the Roosevelt Street we drove through earlier, finishes. Messonnier, which is a commercial street, and one of the main commercial streets is on the right. It's Messonnier. They sell clothing there, mainly clothing. The Victor Hugo Street is on the right here. There is a good bookstore there. In fact, two bookstores, and there is a cinema here, the Algeria cinema. I don't know whether it's still active or not. Cinemas were closed down, then reopened for a while, then they were closed down again here in Algiers because they most people have satellite TV and watch movies on TV. Tefura is on the right, and this is the bus station, the Uptown bus station, or the Didush Morad main bus station. You can find buses, public buses that go to Hydra. that set out from here to Hydra. And this is La Grande Poste. We are approaching the area where we started filming this video. The central faculty is on the left. It only took us 30 minutes in order to drive this route, this incredible route. It's complicated, incredibly complicated, but you need to bear in mind that we drove this whole route in the central part of Algiers, okay? In the central part of Algiers, which is not possible on a day when there is traffic. And by the way, we took lots of you could still drive it in some 40 minutes, okay? We've been driving for 30 minutes. You could still drive it in some 40 minutes, even on a normal day or even on a busy day, if you take all the shortcuts that I took. All right, guys, so this is the end of our video. That's the central post office building, La Grande Poste. I hope that you liked my video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I've noticed that only a third of the people who view my videos are subscribers. Therefore, I would love the rest. I mean, the other 60% or 70% of you who are watching my videos and perhaps liking, to subscribe to. This will help my channel a lot and encourage me a lot in order to continue working on this channel. Visit Algeria, visit Algiers, drive safely, take care of yourselves, and goodbye.